Back with the forum committee. We have a sparse crowd this morning for all the reasons that we all should know about. The forum will not have any more forums for the foreseeable future until there is a confirmation that life can go back to normal. This morning, would you please turn off your cell phones because we're recording this for live streaming and for playing in KKFI later on. This morning we have Tori Jonson with us. She put together a presentation of outfits that are in the lobby, and I recommend that you all look at them, that based on an issue of sexual assault that often confronts women who are victims, where somebody suggests, "What were you wearing?" Being a grandfather of 4 daughters and 4 granddaughters and 2 daughters, I, as a male, have been very concerned about sexual assault on my loving kids and children. And it makes me angry that we have to confront such an issue. But then again, this week we had one 23-year sentence on one man who is a sexual predator who couldn't happen to a nicer guy. So this morning I introduce Tori Jonson, and she will tell you all about it.
So, as he said, my name is Tori Jonson. I'm a senior at a small school, private school in Waldo called Kansas City Academy. For our senior capstone, we had to write a 20-page paper about a social justice issue of our choosing, and so I chose sexual assault. And then for the second semester, we had to do a project that correlates with our paper and can go along with her research. So I did the "What Were You Wearing" exhibit, which is in the lobby. Last semester, I focused on sexual assault, Title IX, the rape kit backlog, and the aftermath of someone who's been sexually assaulted. I interviewed Ellen, my school counselor, a representative from MOXA, Metropolitan Organization to Counter Sexual Assault, as well as Tina Malinowski, who used to work for an organization called Rosebrooks. Speaking with experts helped me a lot to understand different aspects of my research, like how to react if someone discloses to you, as well as how to help them in the future. Here are some of the statistics that stuck out to me. Every 73 seconds, an American is sexually assaulted. 230 rapes are reported yearly, but only 4.6% of rapists will be convicted. I got the statistics for the next few slides from the RAIN website. RAIN stands for Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network. 1 out of 6 women have had an attempted or completed rape against them, which means in a room full of women, at least one of them will have likely been assaulted in their life. 1 out of 33 males have had an attempted or completed rape against them. 1 out of 10 rape victims are male. There's a big stigma saying that guys can't be sexually assaulted because their body wants it, so they do, which is very much not true. I chose this topic because the summer before I started kindergarten, I was sexually assaulted. Today, I now know that it wasn't just me. I have friends and family members that have also been sexually assaulted, which is why I want to bring attention to the situation. In an age where we should know that sexual assault and sexual harassment isn't okay, things like Trump's "grab 'em by the pussy" statement and the song "Blurred Lines" by Robin Thicke, which talks about being intoxicated and the way you grab me, which are not consent. These things still happen. The Me Too movement shows that just how prevalent sexual assault is. That's my research and the problem. Now this is what I plan to do about it. This poem is the inspiration for the "What Were You Wearing" exhibit I put up for my senior seminar project. The exhibit started after 2 professors read the poem "What I Was Wearing" by Mary Simmerling at a conference hosted by the Arkansas Coalition Against Sexual Assault in September of 2013. The What Were You Wearing exhibit is a traveling exhibit of fragments of people who've survived sexual assault stories. And there are requirements that need to be taken to be able to put up the exhibit. There is no cost associated with the installation, but collaborating with a local campus or community victim advocacy center is required, which is why I, did the exhibit here. The installation may not be used for financial gain, and the poem, What Was I Wearing, must be displayed with the installation. The poem reads, What I was wearing was this. From the top, a white t-shirt, cotton, short-sleeved, and round at the neck. This was tucked into a jean skirt, also cotton, ending just above the knees, and belted at the top. Underneath all this was a white cotton bra and white underpants, though probably not a set. On my feet, white tennis shoes, the kind one plays tennis in, and then finally, silver earrings and lip gloss. This is what I was wearing that day, that night, that 4th of July in 1987. You may be wondering why this matters, or even how I remember every item in such detail. You see, I have been asked this question many times. It has been called to my mind many times. This question, this answer, these details. But my answer, much awaited, much anticipated, seems flat somehow. Given the result of the details of that night during which, at some point, I was raped, and I wonder what answers, what details could give comfort to you, my questioners, seeking comfort where there is, alas, no comfort to be found. If only it were so simple, if only we could end rape, by simply changing clothes. I remember also what he was wearing that night, even though it's true that no one has ever asked me. The plaques, these are some examples that were given to me before I started collecting. The plaques for the exhibit are the words of victims describing the clothing that they were wearing, and all signage was provided by the organizers at KU. The first one reads, I was wearing a sari, the same thing I wear most days. It was what I was comfortable in. It reminded me of home, of my family, of my identity. Now it reminds me of him. The second one, Army ACUs, and I was carrying a gun. So much for that preventing anything. This is the flyer that I made for my exhibit. I put it up at a few places around Westport and Waldo. Westport Coffee House, Arizona Trading Company, the filling station, and others. I also posted it on my Instagram and Snapchat to promote the exhibit. Part of the requirements for this exhibit is to get clothes donated either from the community or a local thrift shop. So I had people at my school donate old clothes. These are almost all the clothes that got donated for my exhibit. I planned on having at least 10 pieces up. I was hoping for 15 or more. I have about 17. There are over 50 entries of survivors' voices that I can choose from based on the clothes I get donated. When the exhibit closes, I will donate them to a sexual assault prevention organization that I have not decided on yet. Displaying outfit suggestions. Not all stories must be used in the installation at the same time. Select stories based on the size of your venue, needs of your community, and availability of clothing for recreation. Iron or steam all clothing before displaying so it is visually appealing. Secure clothing with upholstery pins between the layers of fabric. This creates visual depth and avoids the display looking flat or sterile. Utilize a variety of clothing sizes to reflect different individuals. Display clothing at a variety of heights to reflect different individuals. Most outfits are not gendered. Select clothing with anatomy, but be mindful of statistical representation of gender within the display. If utilizing a story with multiple outfits, link each outfit together by connecting sleeves or hems of individual outfits. Display the printed story next to the displayed outfit. This is my initial concept. So some of the survivor care suggestions were secure content warning flyers at all access points of the installation. Provide a resource booth with information for local victim advocacy programs. I contacted Moxa, and one of their counselors was at my exhibit. Provide tissues and trash cans throughout the display. Do not allow local media to film the faces of participants without consent. Create a space where survivors viewing the installation can anonymously contribute their stories to be utilized in future installations. The space should be private or semi-private with a table, chair, journal, or contribution system, pens, tissues, and printed advocacy resources. I will have paper and pens for stories. I had a table back there where you could write your story and either post it on a board or put it directly into the shredder if you did not want it shared. Provide multiple signs or notifications that donated stories might be used in future installations locally or globally. Identifiable information will be removed. Provide the notation or sticker system for survivors who do not want their story used in the installation, but would find healing in sharing their story through the act of leaving their words with other survivors. Collect stories anonymously. If not, this could trigger a mandatory Title IX report for designated campus staff. Avoid number or email submissions. I sent emails to counselors at Notre Dame de Sion, St. Teresa's Academy, Shawnee Mission East, and University of Missouri, Kansas City. We had a short email correspondence where they told me they would hang my flyer and invite their students to come to the exhibit. Someone at my church, Angie, knows Maria Vasquez Boyd, who is the host of KKFI, and she put us, KKFI's Art Speaks. She put us in touch. I went on Wednesday and explained my exhibit and promoted it as well. And I'll be speaking at Forum. And then later today, I will be talking a little bit during service. This is the Facebook event that I made. Last I checked, there were 65 people that said they were interested in going. About 10 went, which is fine, seeing as what's going on around us. So my plan for Q4 is to make a book that gives the same message as this exhibit. I don't have my idea fully concrete yet because I've been using most of my energy to focus on my exhibit. I want to make a short book of entries that I collect at my exhibit and draw and get from people that I know that are willing to share and draw the stories that are represented in them. I'm thinking about drawing an Michelle Silverstein-esque way, and this is an example that I did. Black baseball hat, blue tie-dye tank top, pink shorts, pink Crocs. We were playing hide and seek. And then here's my flyer bigger. In case you didn't get a chance to look out in the lobby before you came in, here are the pieces. Maybe. There you go. I already read this one. This is a sari. I was wearing a sari, the same thing I wear most days. It was what I was comfortable in. It reminded me of home, of my family, of my identity. Now it reminds me of him. I don't remember what I was wearing the first time, but the second time, boxers. The first time, I was wearing jeans and a blue t-shirt. The next time, years later, I was wearing jeans and a blue t-shirt. I wear blue sometimes when I kickbox or when I need to be assertive. Even today, I am wearing blue because they don't get to take my voice, my favorite color, or my ability to say no and mean it. These are mine. Pajamas. Pajamas when I was 8, 9, and 10. Pajamas when I was 13. Pajamas when I was 17. The dark is my biggest fear to this day. Jean shirt, jeans, and Toms. Everyone seems so confused when I tell them this, like they can't understand what I'm saying. They can't understand what I was wearing. It's almost funny, almost. My prom dress. Don't know if that needs much more explanation. A sundress. Months later, my mother would stand in front of my closet and complain about how I never wore any of my dresses anymore. I was 6 years old. And then I did not get close enough pictures of these to read them. I was wearing sweats and a t-shirt. I went to his place to study. I couldn't process what happened. He was a worship leader at his church. I was wearing jeans, shorts, and a tank top. He wouldn't let me out of his car until he finished. As soon as I got home, I threw away the shirt. The top one reads, T-shirt and jeans. It happened 3 times by 3 different people in my life. Each time I was wearing a t-shirt and jeans. Bottom left. I missed a couple of days at work after it happened. When I told my boss, she asked me this question. I said, a t-shirt and jeans. What do you wear to a basketball game? I walked out and never walked back in. Bottom right. A t-shirt and jeans. I was totally drunk after my first college party, my freshman year. He shouldn't have taken advantage of me being messed up like that, but he did. A university t-shirt and cargos. It's funny, no one has ever asked me that before. They ask me if being raped means I'm gay, or if I fought back, or how I could let this happen to me, but never about my clothes. Button-up short sleeve shirt with blue jeans. He was my best friend's boyfriend's roommate. My friend told me it was okay to crash on their couch after we had all been drinking. She told me the roommate was cool. She told me to just get over it. And my sources. And
Thank you so much. Instead of having the ushers coming forward to take up the collection, we're going to ask that you bring them up individually to the baskets in front or in the back, so we can avoid contact. Anyway, Tori's agreed to take questions from anyone, and let's make them questions rather than statements. Thank you.
I'm interested in how did you get this? This is really brilliant idea to have these exhibits for many number of reasons. What made you think of it?
Well, the exhibit isn't my idea. The 2 professors at KU, when they read the poem, they decided that they wanted to show what people were wearing, or examples of what they were wearing. And so for this exhibit, personally, what I did was I collected the outfits and I put them together. I did not collect the stories for this.
So this is something other people can do too?
Yes, other people can do this. They have to go to the KU website and apply to be able to do it.
Tori, thanks for sharing this with us. Have you had thoughts as you've been working on this about things you would like to see your school or us as your church or other institutions do in response to this information?
Well, I feel like just not necessarily institutions, but just people should stop sexually assaulting others.
So have you decided in your mind or gotten input from other survivors relating to the fact that asking somebody what they wore sort of takes the responsibility away from the predator and puts it on to the shoulders of the victim? Have people thought about this? Or
Yes.
have other people talked to you about that?
Yeah, it's a it's a very common thing because one of the main questions that gets asked to a survivor is, what were you wearing? Because a lot of people automatically assume that it was something that was inappropriate or too revealing. But as I showed, most of those were not revealing.
I remember when I was in college, a boy I dated said it wasn't possible to rape a woman. And I don't remember much other conversation about the issue of rape among my peers. What about your age group? Is this something people are talking about more?
Yes, I think we are talking about it more. In my age group, it still is a little taboo to talk about because it is very private. But I'm glad that people are starting to talk about it more because that means that we can bring light to the situation and try and stop it, or at least make it happen a lot less.
One sign of an important topic is it leaves you without anything else to say. And so I want to thank you all for coming to the forum today. Be careful where you go and how you be. And I wish you all the best. And we're not going to have a forum, as I repeat, for the foreseeable future. So wish you all well. Thank you. I'd hug you, but... Well, she will. We've quit giving cups out, but we have a drive that we give the speakers, that a 32 gigabyte drive that records their presentation and then can be used for other things. So.
And we may be revisiting that, but for the moment, that's how it is.
That's right. That's right.